So this is my J Mascis Jazzmaster, and before you comment, this is not a real Jazzmaster. It kind of is. I swapped out the pickups for Pure Vintage 65s, and the pickups that were in here were they were P90s basically. So you can see on the left, those are the P90s. On the right are what the Pure Vintage 65s look like, which are really classic, traditional Jazzmaster pickups, and you can see how thin they really are, and they're constructed very differently than P90s. So one of the reasons I decided to swap out these pickups is I found the P90s, or the stock pickups in the J Mascis, to be a little too mid-rangey, and they pushed the amp a little too hard, and I wanted to get closer to kind of a traditional Jazzmaster, or even closer to like a Telecaster-ish sound, and I think these really fit the bill. What I found out is that they're incredibly bright, and I think that's the way it is with traditional Jazzmasters. And so I think in the sound samples that you'll hear in a little while, you know, I can use, I know this is crazy, you can use the tone control to help bring down that brightness. But, and I don't think I mentioned this, but you can also reduce the volume a little bit, and you'll hear the highs get cut out ever so slightly. So there is a way to tame the highs, or if you want a really bright sound, you've got it with this. Okay, so one more thing about Jazzmasters, which I didn't mention before. The pots on Jazzmasters are 1 meg. And just to compare, the pots in the Telecaster's 250. So the higher the value, the more treble is going to come through the sound, right? So humbuckers are 500, and for some reason they decided that 1 meg was the way to go with Jazzmasters. So besides the pickups, the only other thing I've changed on this guitar is the whammy bar. So this is like I've forgotten what model it is, but it's basically a Fender, you know, Jazzmaster style or Jaguar style whammy bar. And the only remaining thing on this guitar that's not like a Jazzmaster is the bridge. So it's not called a tune-o-matic, but it's similar to a Gibson tune-o-matic, and I've forgotten what the hell they call it. So anyway, there's that. But other than that, it's pretty similar. So the layout of a Jazzmaster is not as mysterious as it might look. So it's got volume and tone controls that work on both pickups, and then a pickup selector switch that gives you, you know, the neck, both pickups and the bridge pickup. And then it's got the mysterious part, which is the rhythm setting. And in order to engage that, you just push this switch up, and then these become your volume and tone controls. So, and it gives you kind of a darker sound for rhythm. So this is a really bright guitar, as I said, and I'm going to play this. Everything's at 10, volume and tone at 10. Okay, so here we go, in the bridge pickup. I'm going to turn it down to about, let's see, 4, and we'll see what that sounds like. So, when I was a young guy, I just put everything on 10. Didn't matter what it was. Volume, tone, amp, whatever. But I found with a lot of Fenders, especially because they're so bright, and this one in particular, you have to play with the tone control. You have to learn how to use that, and you get all these different sounds if you use the controls on your guitar. Incredible, I know, but that's the way it is. So once again, this is a chord with everything on 10, and then here's the chord with the tone on 4. 10, 4, you know, or 6, or 10. I think if you're a guitar player, you ought to have one of these in your arsenal. And they're fairly new to me. I never bonded with them before until I got this, and then I've gone through, I guess there've been 3 Jazzmasters, the classic vibe, and there was a Squire Affinity I think I had for a while. But yeah, try one out. They're just really different than probably any guitar you own. And if you want more information, there's a guy named Mike Adams on YouTube. He does everything about offset guitars, others as well, but a lot of offset stuff. He does detailed reviews. He's very entertaining, and he's well worth checking out.